Right now at 10, a part of Highway 162 in Bangor will be closed next week. And local high school students explore career options at a career expo. Plus, a training and resource center for people with disabilities is being sold.
Watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 10. I'm Emily Brown. Ken is off tonight. Bangor drivers will need to plan a little extra time for their commute next week. According to the La Crosse County Highway Department, State Highway 162 at the railroad tracks will be closed as crews work on the crossing. The county does not have a detour route posted, but says the road will be closed from next Monday the 7th until Friday the 11th. And lovely weather we are having to end our month of September, and it's going to be beautiful this week, but we do have a cool down headed our way tomorrow, Greg.
Yeah, the winds are picking up tonight. Right now we still got winds, especially up to the north, up to 20. The cold front is coming through. Those are your highs for the 80s for about the 5th or 6th day in a row. But that'll be probably the last day we'll definitely see it. There is some cooler air behind this front. Notice the 60s in Montana to the 70s. So we will see more of that for tomorrow as we go throughout the day. But right now that front is coming down with some cloud cover. We'll see a brief period of clouds, but moisture is very limited. Those are the wind speeds right now. We've seen winds up over 20 miles per hour. So it will kind of be breezy overnight, maybe even windy occasionally as that comes through with those winds beginning to decrease. Overall, that's the cold front coming through. Not much behind it instead of just cooler, more fall-like air. That's when you'll wake up. The winds will die off a little bit overnight, but then pick up briefly through the afternoon. Only 62, plenty of sun, but that northwest wind could be gusting up to 20 miles per hour. La Crosse, a little stronger up there towards Eau Claire towards the afternoon, but they'll calm down overnight. Then we'll see plenty of sun, but only 61 with that west-northwest wind, about 15 miles per hour. Now we're going to start mentioning a little bit more fire danger going on because we have drier and even windier weather coming up for Wednesday, so we'll break that down a bit later in the broadcast.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Greg. The Economic and Community Development Commission held a hearing today to discuss the redevelopment project at the old Kmart. 360 Real Estate Solutions plans to develop the spot into a multi-use complex that includes housing and commercial use. The development will be named Cooper Rocks. The plan is still in pre-development as they gather all the data for the costs of the project.
We're continuing to massage the numbers with respect to the rents for the income on the property, the project costs, and we redid the site to some degree to try to get those costs down. And then the biggest obstacle we face is interest rate right now.
Developers want all elements of Cooper Rocks to be in place before any of the old Kmart is demolished. The Board of Public Works has voted to end city breweries' forfeiture that's required them to pay a fine of $100 per day since April. The brewery has already paid the city of La Crosse over $15,000 because of a leak in their water treatment plant's bioreactor, releasing hydrogen sulfate into the air. Hydrogen sulfate is a colorless, flammable gas that has a rotten egg smell. At the Board of Public Works meeting, it was decided that the brewery has satisfied the violations, including repairing the force main and the bioreactor roof. A new fuel offer is coming to Quick Trip locations across the Midwest. Quick Trip announced their new Quick Charge program, an initiative that aims to provide electrical vehicle owners with a fast and reliable fueling service. The new program will bring direct current fast chargers to a number of their stores. The program will also include an app that allows drivers to view locations, pricing, and charging availability ahead of their stop. Local high school students explored career options at the Western Technical College Career and Education Expo today. The La Crosse Center hosted approximately 2,000 students from 30 area high schools. Students attended a brief orientation before breaking into groups to discuss career fields they are interested in. Students could also visit booths with representatives from higher education and the military. For students with allergies, it can be difficult to find food that's both safe to eat and tastes good. But the A9 Eatery on UWL's campus is making it easier than ever. The recently opened dining option is providing full-service meals for students with documented allergies. Food at A9 is prepared without the 9 major allergens, as well as gluten. Opening at the start of the fall semester, A9 currently serves around 50 to 60 students.
When I got introduced to the A9, it really helped me just be able to have a more secure diet and a safer diet.
A9 is in a different area than the main food hall. Students have to swipe a card to go in, and all utensils and equipment are kept separate from the other dining hall stations in order to prevent cross-contamination. A Minnesota organization helping folks with developmental disabilities is selling its training and resource center. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall is here to tell us why Able is closing its Caledonia facility. Jeremy.
Emily, Able is closing the chapter on its Caledonia facility. As you mentioned, the organization opened it in 2016 to teach folks with disabilities daily life skills like cooking and cleaning. According to Executive Director Lee Walraven, the facility was active offering daytime programs until the pandemic hit. The door will soon be closing for good at Able's Training and Resource Center in Caledonia.
Prior to COVID, Able as an organization employed just over 200 employees. We were one of the largest employers in Houston County.
The pandemic changed that. After 8 years, the organization is selling its Caledonia facility. Since the pandemic, they've lost a lot of staff. According to Walraven, money was a big factor in that.
Increases in wages and what we get for reimbursement from the state haven't kept up, and so our ability to just really to have staffing to provide that programming has just not been there.
This room was once used to teach people with developmental disabilities how to clean, cook, and socialize with one another. But times have changed. Walraven says the impact will be minimal since other organizations are offering daytime programming for people with disabilities.
So this facility was serving our day programming, which other organizations in the county as well serve. And so really what has happened is those organizations have really absorbed a lot of that programming, and all that really comes down to staffing.
Able opened its Training and Resource Center in 2016. Walraven says having the facility was helpful because the need for serving folks with developmental disabilities is high in Houston County.
Individuals in the county that are there that need those services, it really comes back to having the staff to provide those services is what we really struggle at.
And Able selling their Caledonia facility for $2 million. So far, there's been no buyer. Emily.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy. And anyone still working at Able's Caledonia facility will be transferred to its La Crescent location or to one of its community homes. La Crosse organizations are challenging the public to alternate methods of getting around the city. This week is National Week Without Driving. It begins today and goes until Saturday, October 6th. 20 La Crosse area groups are hosting events throughout the week to highlight the challenges of non-drivers, which make up 40% of La Crosse residents ages 15 and up. Walking, biking, and the use of public transportation is encouraged as a way to cut expenses and reduce carbon footprints. Elected leaders and advocates are also invited to step into the shoes of non-drivers to experience the challenges they meet on a day-to-day basis.
Where people live and where they work is part of that challenge, and that's something that the county and the city can be mindful of going forward. Where are we siting housing? Is it near transit, or is it near services and jobs, or is it way the heck out so the only way to get any place is to drive?
Now, there are a few ways to get around for free this week. MTU is offering free rides all week, and Drift Cycles are offering a 1-hour free ride with a special code. We'll have that code along with a list of events on our digital platforms. Our September hometown heroes are making a difference in NASA of Tomah. Up next.
suspected Venezuelan gang member who was arrested for domestic battery.
Violently attacked a woman physically and sexually.
The border crisis is real here in Wisconsin.
Criminal gangs harming our community.
We're stretched thin. Open borders and weak politicians are crushing us.
Rebecca Cook is one of them. She doesn't back law enforcement. She'll never secure the border. She doesn't even want to.
That's why we stand with Derek Van Orton. He has our back.
And I've got yours. I'm Derek Van Orton, and I approve this message.
Sometimes a celebration means fireworks and loud music. I'll just tell you that I'm celebrating 35 years at the board store, 80 years on the planet, and my daughter Danielle becoming the new general manager of the board store. Let what's personal to me be personal to you with savings on your next home improvement.
Call for a prompt free estimate on windows and doors, on siding or gutters, on a bathroom or a kitchen, on a sunroom or deck.
Better products.
Better people.
Better prices.
The Board Store, improving your home, improving your life.
At Rank Seed, we expect excellence in every seed, superior genetics, state-of-the-art processing facilities, and extensive testing for proper placement. Let us help you find the right seed for your growing conditions. Rank Seed, results since 1846.
Sunken or uneven concrete only worsens with time due to changing seasons, stress on the slab, or poorly compacted soil. Your sunken concrete won't get better with time, but it will with our modern solutions. Choose American Waterworks.
While families struggle to pay bills, Harris and the Democrats are wasting our tax dollars on their extreme liberal agenda, giving government checks to illegal immigrants, funding a Madison clinic where minors get transgender therapy without parents' consent, pushing high schools to allow boys to compete in girls' sports. Senator Baldwin fights for this madness. Tammy Baldwin, radical, extreme, and wrong.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
A husband and wife in Tomah are taking their commitment to service and making it a family affair. Meet the Bames, our September hometown heroes. Dan and Jeanette Bame, a duo that embodies the true definition of volunteerism.
They're there for every single event that we have.
We've always been helping and volunteering with different organizations in our church.
Dan is the president of the North American Squirrel Association of Tomah, an organization that helps the elderly and physically challenged enjoy the outdoors.
Just started out trying to really help with a pontoon boat here in Tomah, to help with the elderly, and it just exploded.
Jeanette is his wife and secretary of the organization and chief driver of the Ground Squirrel, an automobile that transports members to and from events. The North American Squirrel Association, or commonly known as NASA, hosts a variety of activities throughout the year. Things like hiking, boating, hunting excursions, and fishing. Lots of fishing.
Just the look on the people's faces, because they don't get out that much, and they're just really pleased to be able to get out into the public and do things.
We had one fishing outing with a girl that was mentally challenged, and she was just mad. She did not want to be there. And my son handed her the fishing pole when the fish had bought. And she just screamed and hollered and jumped around and told everybody how she caught the biggest fish. And the people that take care of us said it was the happiest they ever seen her in 3 years. And those type of things just inspire us.
It's even inspired Dan and Jeanette to make service a family affair. Their 4 children play an active role in NASA. Even their grandchildren help out with the annual Squirrel Fest.
We were very fortunate this way. We have a fantastic family. Our kids all have the good heart.
With the new Abilities Park underneath their belt, a fall color tour ahead, even an elk hunt in Montana, NASA is growing.
We're getting more and more volunteers, and the biggest thing is we're finding out just how many people out there really need this type of organization.
And they are currently seeking volunteers for NASA of Tomah. If you're interested in volunteering, we'll have that information on our digital platforms. And if you'd like to nominate our next hometown hero, visit WKBT.com and click on the Features tab. Hurricane Helene left behind unprecedented damage along the East Coast. More on the destruction of the storm right after the break.
And fall is definitely back for the first day of October with temperatures returning to the 60s, but we have some milder conditions even this week. I'll break down what the temperatures look like and including what the wind also looks like coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Fentanyl is killing over 1,000 people a year in Wisconsin. New reporting shows that Eric Hovde is doing business with a bank accused of links to the Mexican drug cartel. Banco Azteca loaded up $26 million in cash and flew it to Eric Hovde's bank in California. Other U.S. banks have cut ties with this Mexican bank, but Eric Hovde took their money. That's 26 million more reasons you can't trust Eric Hovde.
Darling, I believe everything's gonna be alright. No need to worry because you got somebody on your side. We all need a fam, we all need a crew. When you're in a jam, don't know what to do. Just reach out your hand and we'll see you through. Doesn't matter where you're at, we got your back. We got your back.
With a Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for.
We got your back.
Start your adventure and get in a new Jeep at Pischke Motors La Crosse or Pischke Motors West Salem.
Get ready for adventure days with Jeep. Stop into Pischke Motors now for 0% APR for 36 months on the 2024 Compass, Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, Gladiator, and Wagoneer. These Jeeps are ready for your next adventure. Pure comfort and functionality at your fingertips with the power and confidence you know Jeep provides. Stop in now because this offer ends September 30th.
Start your search at Pischke.com and drive away in your new Jeep.
Have you ever met with a mortgage loan officer and after only 2 or 3 minutes, they push your papers towards you and say, "We can't help"? At Firefighters Credit Union, we call that the big push. When you meet with Matt Farron or Troy Arns, they know you deserve a lot of time and know you're going to be ready for a mortgage someday. So I guarantee you, you'll never get the big push at Firefighters Credit Union.
Everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
Wow, Forest Berry Fudge is amazing. This is melting in my mouth.
Dill pickle? Whoa, that's actually good.
Holy fudge. This is the best thing ever.
Expressions brought to you by Valley Fudge and Candy. Find us in Coon Valley, Wisconsin, or order online today.
Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions, your choice for quality, affordable windows, installed by our experienced team. Contact us or stop into our showroom today for your free estimate.
The news continues on News 8 Now. Expect more.
The Southeast is suffering days after Hurricane Helene's hit. More than 120 people are dead across 6 states. 600 are still missing. And today, the president's Homeland Security advisor said the death toll could climb dramatically. Helene crashed into Florida as a Category 4 hurricane with storm surge above 15 feet. Now let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Greg Barnhart for our weather forecast.
Well, we certainly haven't had a lot of precipitation here in the last probably week, 2 weeks, even going back a month. And this time of year, we can get into a fire weather issue, fire danger, if we go through a long stretch of dry conditions and warm. And that's what we've been through, and that's what we're kind of being. So remember, in wildlife, we need the 3 things that are really due to weather, and that's low humidity and wind. The other one is dry vegetation, which we are in that time of year where the leaves start turning, they're drying. Sometimes we get a frost or freeze, and that kills the plants. So we're coming up into an area that we'll have to keep an eye on. They've already seen it out to the west in Minnesota and the Dakotas. We'll see if we get that. But we do have a cold front that already has come through really right now. Breezy and much cooler, so you'll feel the winds in the morning a little bit, but then in the afternoon too. Definitely back to the 60s. Milder and much more windier on Wednesday. The winds turn right back around to the south, and that will create maybe some elevated fire concerns because the relative humidity dips below 30% sometime in the afternoon, along with the combination of those gusty winds. So that could be something we'll keep an eye on. Really, here comes a front. There's not a lot of moisture associated. Most of the cloud cover and precipitation is well to the north in Canada, but it is coming through with some pretty decent winds and much more fall-like atmosphere behind it. And so that's what we're seeing right now. So tomorrow's highs really are going to be a little bit maybe a degree or two where we should be below average, so more 60s, upper 60s, low 60s in the north, maybe some mid to upper 60s. That northwest wind will start dying off towards the afternoon, but still quite breezy. Once that goes through, then Wednesday night you're going to start seeing the winds turn around, especially Wednesday morning from the south as the system up the north gets closer. It's not going to provide much in the way of cloud cover, as you see right here going through Wednesday, but it's going to turn those winds from the south and start increasing them once again. And those winds will be a little bit stronger. Temperatures will respond more in the mid to upper 70s, so we'll come back up above average, which we should be around 70. And then as we go through, the wind speed will start picking up. Here's the wind speeds for tomorrow. Really about 10 to 15 around noon. Could some areas be 15 to 20. As you go home, they'll start kind of dropping off a little bit overnight. But then going into Wednesday morning, they start coming around from the south, and they definitely pick up. So we're looking at 15 to 20, potentially 20 to 25 with some higher gusts during the afternoon hours, the evening hours, and eventually towards the sunset, we'll start seeing them come down a little bit. Now, if you combine that with the relative humidity, we're going to be quite dry this time of period here. Those are the relative humidities towards the afternoon tomorrow, up to down to 30s. Now, if we go to Wednesday, they drop even further. We're looking at relative humidities dropping potentially into the mid to upper 20s, and that is very dry for this time of year to see that, and that's why the fire concern, danger concern could be coming up for that time frame given these type of conditions that are in play. So something to keep in mind as we go Wednesday. And the fire danger threat really doesn't go away too much for this 7 to 8 day period, because our temperatures, although are going to go up and down, fronts are going to come through, it's going to stay dry pretty much through the whole entire forecast, and this may go beyond this week or next week until we have a great shot of getting some rainfall, so something to keep in mind. But you definitely will feel the change tomorrow. You're probably already feeling it tonight with that wind picking up. Back to the 60s, but mild conditions still for the rest of the week. We just probably won't see another 80.
You're definitely going to need an extra spray.
You'll feel it, yes. And Wednesday too.
Keep your hair intact. Okay, thank you, Greg. Coming up in sports, the Brewers now know who their opponent is for the wild card round. Hear why one player thinks this team feels different from those in the past. That and more next with Jacob.
News 8 Now Sports is brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, with 6 locations of fun.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere.
Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $5,750 total value on this Silverado. Visit HometownChevy.com.
Maxwell White, done right.
Maxwell White Plumbing proudly announces our first annual food drive in celebration of being in business for 30 years and our commitment to the communities we serve. From October 1st to 31st, we're partnering with the La Crosse Hunger Task Force. Donate while our professionals are at your home, at our West Salem location, or directly to the Hunger Task Force in La Crosse. As a thank you, get $15 off your service and we'll donate an additional $15 on your behalf. Join us in making a difference this October.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Well, tomorrow marks the start of October. Fall sports are winding down. In cross country, that means less than a month until sectionals and just over a month until the state tournament. Mustangs and Melrose Mindoro hosting an invite today with some area schools. Boys up first, and Blair Taylor's Thomas Brandt ran a great race, finishing in first place. No final times or other results due to technical difficulties, but he is crowned champion. And in the girls' race, a fantastic showing for the Bangor Cardinals as they have multiple girls finish in the top 5. Bangor takes first and second in the boys and girls team scores, and Toma finishes as the runner-up in both boys and girls as well. There are a lot of high-powered offenses in our area, but what Prairie du Chien has done over the last 4 weeks might just take the cake. They've outscored conference opponents 214-36, scoring more than 60 points in their last 2 games. A big reason for that, Blake Thierry, the future Indiana Hoosier, is a Swiss Army knife for the Blackhawks, taking handoffs, catching passes, and even acting as a decoy. Thierry can do it all, but it's the pieces around him that have boosted Prairie to a 5-game win streak.
You put them out wide and you put them out at wide receiver and they put 2 people on them. That means you got single coverage on other wide receivers. They're taking people out of the box so you can run the ball up the middle. So it just really opens up everything.
They know that Blake sometimes will become a decoy. Blake can play 4, he can play 3, he can play Y, he can play Z. I mean, he can play all over the place. And the other guys love it because as we're able to spread him around, it opens them up more. So they've really been able to complement each other.
And when Thierry isn't acting as a decoy, he's been straight dominant this season. 14 rushing touchdowns, 8 receiving touchdowns, over 1,100 total yards, and he even has a defensive score. He's the school's all-time leading touchdown scorer, and getting into the end zone on Fridays has been his specialty.
I definitely enjoy. I mean, my teammates help me a lot to do that, but I mean, it's a joy. I mean, every week, you know, getting lots of touchdowns. I mean, it's really fun. I'm having a lot of fun right now. I feel like if we keep clicking like we are right now and scoring lots of points and shutting teams down, I think we can make a deep run to level 4, you know, level 5. I think that's been our goal.
Prairie has already clinched a playoff spot for the 8th straight year, but now they'll be battling for a trip to state for the first time since 1988. Yesterday, in a 31-29 win for Minnesota, it was the return of Aaron Jones to Lambeau Field. He was met with well-deserved cheers pregame, then had a fantastic performance with 22 rushes for 93 yards and 4 catches for 46 yards. Jones says it was a special day that he hopes his legacy extends far beyond the product he put out just on the football field.
Just like a full circle moment, knowing that everything that I do on the field is cool, but I'm kind of remembered for what I've done off the field in this community, and I think that says a lot about me.
Jones and the Vikings are one of 2 unbeaten teams remaining. They'll face the Jets in London next Sunday morning. And the Brewers are watching some of the Mets and Braves game today at AmFam Field, seeing who they might be facing tomorrow, and it has been determined. Milwaukee will face New York with first pitch scheduled for 4:32 p.m. The Crew have made the playoffs 6 of the last 7 times, but they haven't won a postseason series since 2018 when they lost to the Dodgers in the NLCS. But the starting pitcher for tomorrow's opener, Freddie Peralta, says there's something different about the 2024 squad.
We feel different. I can tell even today, like the vibes that we have right now. You can see in everybody's face. Do what we've been doing the whole season, just trusting in ourselves, and just don't be afraid of make a mistake. You just be yourself.
Now, the Brewers have yet to win a postseason game that Peralta has pitched in, most recently last year against Arizona, where he went 5 innings and gave up 4 earned runs. The Mets will pitch Luis Severino, so looking forward to
that optimism he has. He's like, it just feels different, and don't be afraid to be yourself. What better advice can you get than that?
Exactly. I get nervous every time October baseball comes around. It just means a little bit more, and we haven't won in a little bit, so looking forward to.
Yeah. Like I said, everyone wear your Brewers cap tomorrow at around 4:42 and give the guys some extra love. All right, we've got more news right after this.
Life's busy. Off is not an option. You need to be on time, on the go, on the call, or just ready to play on. Life's waiting. Power on with Batteries Plus. Visit one of over 700 locations today.
Scouting has helped them build confidence through problem solving, learning to cook over a fire, building a tent in areas that they don't always get exposed to.
It's not competitive. It really helps develop your son or daughter into a great human being.
This is a great opportunity for your child to get to know the outdoors, and there's so much that outside and nature can provide for our children, and having these experiences is what Scouting is all about.
I have had the privilege of working with an exceptional team to install over 12,000 home improvements for local homeowners in the last 35 years. Now it's time for me to spend a little more time with my bride of over 50 years. Fortunately, I found an experienced remodeling contractor and corporate project manager to lead the board store into the future.
And with an outstanding team by my side, I am proud to lead this amazing company my dad has built. And we look forward to continuing to serve you with the great value that is the board store trademark.
From sunup to sundown, Bagnevsky Heating and Air Conditioning has been servicing our Cooley region for 59 years. Whether you're in La Crosse, Onalaska, West Salem, Holmen, or La Crescent, take comfort your heating and cooling needs are met with our trusted staff, longevity, and 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Be ready this fall and call Bagnevsky Heating and Air Conditioning for your furnace cleaning check today. Bagnevsky Heating and Air Conditioning, your local train dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. These places employ us, sponsor the Little League team, and feed and clothe us. That's why I'm proud of the work I've done to support our business community. I know that the side of the aisle you're on matters less than being on the side of our main streets. No party has a monopoly on good ideas. I'm Steve Doyle, and I'm working for our businesses, working for our communities, and I'm working for you.
Batteries Plus has the national scale for all your power needs and a dedicated expert for the local support you want. Power on with Batteries Plus Business.
You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
The 22nd Annual Ladies' Day Luncheon officially brings an end to this year's Oktoberfest celebrations. The luncheon at the Cargill Room of Waterfront Restaurant is sponsored by past Mrs. Oktoberfests. Royal family members of the past and present were in attendance for the event this year. They celebrated all the hard work done to make the festival happen with live entertainment, food, and prizes. Job well done, ladies. And Greg will have one final look at your forecast when we come back.
When I called other lawyers, I wasn't even sure who was going to be representing me. Once I called BGR and talked to Brian, I felt secure immediately. I'm so glad that I called Bygoff and Rohde.
The liberal elite in Washington are running one of their own here in Wisconsin. A political insider who worked to elect liberals in California even supported a dark money group focused on defunding the police. Her name, Rebecca Cook, political operative bankrolled by the liberal elite. They handpicked her to help win back the House, trusted to elect liberal heroes like Mandela Barnes. They trust her because Rebecca Cook is one of them.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's fall jean sale is going on now, and all jeans are on sale. We're so confident we have the right brand, style, and fit for you that we'll give you a free $5 Farm and Fleet gift card for every pair of jeans you buy. Like men's Rustler jeans, just $15.99. Rewards members save an extra $1. Men's Special Buy Carhartt jeans, 40% off, just $17.99. And shop store-wide savings like 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic Oil, $30.99.
One of the biggest mistakes you can make when shopping for a car is committing to a loan payment. Once you do that, you've lost control over the entire transaction. Control over the price of the car, what you're gonna get in trade, maybe even your interest rate. So if you want someone to help you along with this transaction, give me a call or one of my great loan officers.
Everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
There are over 21,000 Wisconsin veterans struggling to pay for rent and utilities.
Thank you for your service.
Many are also facing issues with their mental health.
Thank you for your service.
We must do more to help these heroes who have already sacrificed so much.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Words simply aren't enough.
I'm sorry.
Make a difference by donating to this critical Wisconsin survival safety net today.
It seems like everyone in Washington is either too far left or too far right. I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'll stand up to Democrats to fight for a secure border and stop wasteful spending. I'll stand up to extremists like Derek Van Orden, who wants to ban all abortions with no exceptions. Like you, I'm fed up and ready for change. I approve this message because it's time that we sent one of us to Congress.
The lawyer you choose makes a difference because you get this one chance to get this right, and you want somebody that's going to fight for you and get you the resolution that you need. I'm so glad that I called BGR.
All right, tomorrow definitely going to be more breezy, cooler. You'll feel the chill, although those temperatures aren't too far from where we should be this time of year. The good news is we're going to go back into the 70s. The bad news is we don't have a lot of precipitation in the forecast. Dry conditions, could be some fire danger problems that we get up to. So back to fall we go.
Okay, we're ready for it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.